Okay. All right, so we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the live stream. If you're watching this live or in the replay, we're happy you stopped by today. We've got a group of amazing people here today to go over Video Marketing 101 for clinicians, how to use video to build your brand. So we're excited about you guys being here today. We're excited about really starting to answer questions, fill in information gaps, and we're excited for both of us to be here today. So why don't we just start out and introduce who each of us are. I'll let you start.
All right. Sounds good, Danny. Thank you again for everyone joining here in person and on Facebook Live. And so my name is Melissa Tillman Ryan. I am a licensed professional counselor, and I work, at least in my practice, I work predominantly with couples and romantic partners, and I'm a very experiential counselor. So those of you joining us on live missed, we did a little meditation, but I'm very much about getting people in their body, outside of their prefrontal cortex, and really connecting with what might be getting in their way individually and in their relationship. And so Facebook Live has been a really awesome platform for me to connect not only with my clients, but then also be able to share all the awesome wisdom I've gained from the trainings I've gone to, and also connect with other professionals. It's been really great, so I'm excited to share more about it.
And I'm super excited for Melissa to be here today as a clinical standpoint. When I say clinical, I really think healer in general. Anybody that's interested in improving somebody else's life through something that you offer. There's a real niche in video for the things that you all do. You solve problems for people. You create this space for people to overcome obstacles that are in front of them. And when you do it and you're doing it, it feels really good, right? One-on-one when you're working with people. Well, there's a way that we can use that wisdom, that knowledge to start really building your brand as somebody that is passionate about what they do. But I'll introduce myself. My name's Danny Colella. I own and operate a social media company called Danny Colella Live, where I just help people understand how to use live video and produce video to start building their brand on social media. And when I say building your brand, the beauty of us both being here today is great. You're going to hear more of a marketer, me, talk. Then you're going to hear a clinician, more of you, talk. And it's important to have Melissa here today so she can knock me down when I'm getting too high. Because I really care about you guys being seen and heard. That's important. There are other people out there with lots of money, lots of funds to run ads, and they're beating you like crazy. But with video, we have an ability for you to start meeting people where they're at, where they're hurting, where they're experiencing problems, where they're experiencing whatever it is you have to offer, and offer some support right through social media. So I built my business on making sure that healers in general, heart-centered practitioners, have a voice, and they're seen and heard on social media. And that's all I do. I do Facebook. I niche. I do that one thing. So if you got Instagram questions, I don't know.
Well, and what I like what you said is I think our profession in general is going to shy away a lot from self-promotion. Mm-hmm. That's at least my experience in this field, because it feels salesy. It might feel not genuine or inauthentic. I know when I've gone to traditional networking events, when I've struggled, when I'm I just have to have that superficial conversation about what I do and what they do. But when I know that I'm going to be hanging out with other healers or other mental health professionals, usually I'm yes, because I can just get right to the heart of the matter. I can talk about what I'm passionate about, what they're passionate about. We can talk about social justice issues, and I don't have to go through all that bullshit. And so there's something about that I really appreciate, and I think it can be a hurdle to us accessing these platforms because, like you shared, I didn't even have the Facebook app on my phone.
Yeah, when I met Melissa, true story. Yeah, you don't have it?
I can finish that, but I have a question.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Why Facebook? What, just in terms of
Why did I choose Facebook, or why do I niche that hard?
Other versus Instagram or Twitter,
Beautiful. See what questions do? Yeah.
What should we be thinking about?
We chose Facebook because Facebook's the most diverse platform with the largest amount of active monthly users. When it comes to active monthly users, meaning people that are at least logging in monthly, Facebook has 2.5 billion monthly users. The closest second is Instagram at 998 million. Facebook is and will continue to be, even though they get all kinds of flack, the biggest range of meeting your customer wherever they're at. Instagram is a lot different. Instagram is a lot to do with stories. It has a lot to do with photos. It has a lot to do with branding yourself a certain way. Facebook is just a much broader market for us to hit. And one of the most successful things out there, you ask any marketer, I'm not even in that, but Facebook ads are like Yellow Pages of 1972. That's what Facebook ads are right now. I mean, it's the ability to know so much about so many people and get very good content right in front of people that you want to see it. It's the equivalent of putting the billboard up on the highway, right by the highway, so when people are on social media, they're going to see the stuff you do. Facebook is the leader. They're going to continue to be the leader. It's just the broadest range of ages, and your customers are there. They're logging in every month, and you have an opportunity to reach them. So it's just the biggest, baddest, most profitable social media platform you can be on right now. It isn't niche. It's about community. Facebook is also building community about social media. They want it to be meaningful for people. And a lot of the things like Twitter are very celebrity-focused, very news-focused. Instagram is typically the younger population. Places like Sandstone Care, where we are at today, could have a better chance meeting people on social media through Instagram. But when it comes to hitting the biggest target market, Facebook is by far the best. So great question. And there's a lot of data behind that too as well on how video performs and what businesses are doing on Facebook.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Was
I
that
asked that same question.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, well, I was going to say when I got started, I didn't even have a Facebook app on my phone.
So Melissa happily is like one of my first students that sort of got involved. I think it's good to tell her story because I think it's good for you guys to understand where she came from. We met probably a year ago at a networking meeting, and Melissa's like, I want to do Facebook Live. And I'm like, I want to work with you. Like, this is great. And we like jived, and then for whatever reason, for 6 months, we didn't talk to each other.
No.
It was like energy, and then, okay, forget about it. And she didn't do anything. Like, she wanted to do it. She knew she wanted to make an impact. She knew it was something that she'd seen other people do well, and she wanted to do it, but she didn't do it. And we'll tie that together in the end. So 6 months later, we connect. We finally start talking. I show up to her place. We do a live video together. I support her. We go over platforms, equipment. She didn't even have the Facebook app on her phone.
That's true.
And she did live, and she kind of got connected with it. And we'll talk about why she got connected with it over this first 30, 45 minutes. But she got connected with it and started making an impact and started overcoming the obstacles of fear and gear and all this stuff that keeps us away. And now she did how many live videos this week?
This is number 5.
Number 5
That's
live
a lot,
video
though.
this week. And how many people in here know Melissa or are friends with Melissa on social media? How often do you see her? Pretty much. I mean, a marketing touch on social media, we all know that we flip our thumbs, right? A marketing touch is as simple as seeing somebody go across your thumb. That's reach. That's remembering. If you watched one video at any point in time, it jerks that memory, and now you're seeing that person again. So every time she does a live video, she's seen and heard on social media. It helps referral sources remember her. It helps people think about her. Yeah.
And so I'm interested in what the return has been for you for your video.
Yeah, so great question. I think, like Danny's saying, initially I got a lot of feedback from my colleagues, my peers, like, hey, I saw your video. And even my family. I mean, that's what's really great to me. I'm like, look, my family's being exposed to all this material passively. Because before, I don't know if anyone else has done this. Like, I'm like, oh, have you heard of Brene Brown? She's so great. That didn't go so well. So they're like, so I think that's really cool. So I've gotten a lot of feedback there. And so for me, that would have been enough. But then in the last few months, I've had clients say, I saw you, like actually the one Rika and I did a few months ago. I had a client say, oh, I saw Rika's posting of this video you did, and that's why I'm seeking you out. And I have had clients say, I got a list of therapists' names, and I went to their website, and I watched your videos, and that's why I'm coming in. And I've had several clients say that to me, because I also do these Facebook Lives. I post them on YouTube, and then they get uploaded to my website. And then I also share the link with whoever I interview. And so then they can also, so like, we're both benefiting SEO wise, but then like, for me, it's just we're disseminating this information and just extending our reach, which I think is so powerful. I mean, that's will tie into the why. So we all had to start somewhere, like Danny said. So there was a lot of fear. Like, I knew I wanted to do video, but I was like, how am I going to do it? What are the ethics around it? What's confidentiality going to look like? I've purposefully blocked my social media so that I never have to worry about clients asking to be my friend because they can't even find me. Now Danny's telling me I have to, like, my profile is going to be public so colleagues can find me, and that was really...
Not now, but this was back then. I was telling her it benefits her to be more public, and she's like, look, I like to be private. It's important.
Yes. That was really overwhelming.
That was.
So what really helped me kind of overcome the fear is really knowing why I would want to do it in the first place. And I think particularly for heart-centered folks, like what I was saying about networking events, is usually we know what we're doing is meaningful. Like, we're drawn to this field, we're drawn to the work we do, and I really appreciate that heart-centered component. And without that, I don't think I would be able to do these lives, because I draw on that, knowing why I do what I do, and also where I come from. So I was just sharing with Danny, I was listening to the song Renegades by Ex-Ambassadors on the way here, and I was thinking about, like, where I come from, and how I draw a lot of strength from my lineage, because I come from a very adventurous, bold family. Both sides of my family homesteaded in Montana before it was a state. They're just they're bold folks. They've been very innovative in the careers that they've taken, and so I was sharing with Danny, one of the reasons I think about with my career, am I honoring my lineage and the things that I've inherited? And then what am I doing to, like, elevate where I come from and elevate the consciousness of, like, the world at large? And what I really appreciate about Facebook Live is that I can reach so many more people. And what I really love doing is pairing with other folks in our field who are much more introverted and way less likely to do this, because then the world benefits from their gifts, and I get to help draw that out, and that brings me immense joy that, like, all these wonderful humans that are touching lives now have like exponentially more impact, and that's really important to me. And so when I'm connected with that why of why it is I do what I do, why I think Facebook Live has the potential to amplify my why, then that fear dissipates a lot. And I think I also tie in where I come from and how am I honoring that.
I love it, and I have something to really expound on that. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, but can you, since you mentioned it earlier about confidentiality and your clients having access to you on Facebook?
Yes.
Can you speak to that, how you manage that?
So I haven't had any clients ask to be my friend, but I've thought about this before I ever had my profile go live, is, well, I've always thought about, because I knew employers in the past have done Facebook Live searches, like, what am I portraying? Is it congruent? And that's always important to me. Is my LinkedIn account congruent with my Facebook? Like, is it me showing up? And would I feel comfortable with whatever's on my Facebook profile, with clients seeing if they were going to find me? And I thought about it, and I was like, yes, because it is congruent with who I am. I mean, I don't post very much personal stuff, but I have families that post, like, family photos. And I think it's really important. I guess when I got out of grad school, I was like, I'm going to keep this separation. I've got private life and personal life. And what I have found is I've become more integrated. And I think that's really important for me, to not feel like those are so separate, that because I think I just feel more congruent. Like, I'm a human, and I want my clients to know that I'm a human, I guess, and that I do have friends and family, and that, I don't know, I feel like it feels more relational. And since I work with relationships, I think it models that it's important to be relational. I'm a big proponent of walking your talk. So if they were to go on my Facebook profile, they would see, yes, Melissa seems very relational. Like, there's pictures of her hanging out with her friends and her family. And I say my grandma watches almost all my Facebook Lives, but I forgot to text her.
Son of a...
She always asks me to text
Grandma's
her
not gonna say hi
before
today.
I go live. And so she'll post, and she'll say, I love you, and I say I love you back. And, like, to me, that one of the most powerful things we can do as a therapist is model what it is that we're communicating. And if I feel congruent in that, I think that's fine. I haven't ran into any issues, with clients asking to be my friend, or where there's been any confidentiality. When I do the Facebook Lives, I'm very conscientious of if I'm sharing about a client issue, that it's really broad, just like I would if I did a presentation.
So have you found any ethical issues, though, around?
No.
Because I have a lot of clients on my Facebook page, and it hasn't been a problem. But I don't actually post client information. I'm posting articles and stuff.
Exactly.
There's nothing. So I just wanted to know if, just from the beginning of your presentation, if you had any issues that I haven't thought about.
Yeah, no, I haven't really ran into any issues. And this comes down to, I think, like you guys know, just setting that up even when you talked with clients about what the expectations are around communication. I was talking, there's another slide about this with engagement, but about how you're going to engage if you were to connect over social media or not. It's in my policies that I don't connect over social media, and I just haven't, weirdly enough, haven't had any issues. I guess I expected more.
Yeah, there's a couple philosophies from a marketing mindset that I share around this. First, a lot of you are in this space right now that when you do any type of video that you're selling yourself or you're marketing yourself. You're not. Video on social media today has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing, especially in the field that we work in where people are experiencing problems, they're going through life, and they're having issues. This has nothing to do with you. You go out and you develop content that's going to help somebody really step through some things at home to the point where they've built value and trust in you, to where they want to pick up the phone and call you. They're not to the point where they need you yet, but when you show up in their feed with something very value-driven, something that you can share that's going to help somebody who's currently in a situation get over a hump or try something at home. Therapy is stigmatized. I don't know if you guys know that. It's crazy stigmatized, okay? People don't want to come see you because they think you're going to analyze them. Hollywood does a much better job at showing people what therapy is. They do a much better job, and they always will. So if we don't start showing people what this process is going to be like, if we don't start showing people what to expect, if we don't start showing them what this will be like, they're just not going to show up until they're at crisis. If I would sit down and talk to all of you in the room, one of the stigmas you would all say is don't wait till it's the end. Don't wait till you're in a crisis. Don't wait until things are so bad to come seek therapy. Just don't do it. They're going to continue to do it. They're going to continue to wait until we get more people really starting to educate, really starting to build relationships with people on social media. This is not about talking about a specific problem or a specific issue that you have in your practice. This is about generalizing. Melissa works with couples. She also likes to talk a lot about couples and things they can solve at home, problems they can get over, obstacles they can get over, and that's what this style of marketing really is. It's education. It's not marketing at all. It's taking the stuff that you've learned in school. We all know Brene Brown, right? She's the best at it. Okay? All we're asking you to do is start to do little versions of this to start to build your brand, to start to affect your social media platform, to start to find people. I wasn't always in the substance abuse and mental health field. Now that I am, people back in Ohio where I moved from, they're messaging me all the time. Now I'm that safe person because I talk about it all the time that they're like, look, we're going through this. Can you help us? Look, this is happening. Can you help us? They just didn't know. And if I'm quiet about it and don't let them know what I do, they're not going to have a resource or somebody to talk to that normalizes it for them. Yeah.
So, Melissa, do you have a business Facebook page?
I do, yes. So Dan is going to talk about that piece as well. But when I originally started, I went live from my personal page, the first probably 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then I jumped to the business page.
And
I just invited my friends and family to my business one. And then what I now do is I go live from my business page and then I share it on my personal page. And one of the fears I had, which totally speaks to the stigma, is I was like, oh my gosh, now all these people on Facebook are going to know what I do. And then I remember being like, well, that's a weird response. And it just, like you're saying, kind of speaks to some of that stigma. And I don't know if you guys have been there, but when somebody asks you, what do you do? I still sometimes have the dread because I'm like, well, I'm going to say I'm a therapist, and they're either going to run away they're going to share too much, or it's just going to be an awkward conversation and I'm going to try to find something else to share about, you know? And so that's what I was feeling going with the Facebook Live. I'm like, oh my gosh, now not only am I going to feel like I'm having that conversation, I'm having it with like all these people now. And then I thought about it and I was like, Melissa, you're really big on destigmatizing mental health. And your reaction shows how the culture feels about mental health. And what better thing could you do in honoring the work that you've done and your clients do than being a vocal advocate on a platform where there isn't a lot of talk about this stuff, you know? And I love the term vicarious resilience. I really channeled, I'm like, man, my clients do incredible things all the time, and I'm so honored to witness their vulnerability. How could I channel that, and how can I honor that? Like, and so I thought about like, well, I can just put myself out there and actually be vulnerable and get in the arena and model that to my clients that if I'm going to invite you to do this, I can do it too. I can put myself out there and challenge this stigma. And like what you're saying, it has nothing to do with me and more about like the education that we could start to shift. This platform is really cool to me.
Yeah, and one of the first stages is really confidence coaching when it comes to getting you through these stages. So if you don't mind sharing sort of who you treat, who your niche is, or who you like to treat.
Yeah, I work with parents.
You work with parents? Parents that are dealing with what?
Parent-child relationship.
So what's a problem they're experiencing? Not communicating? Aggressive children. Okay. So when we work,
Kicked out of preschool, for example.
imagine this, okay? Because I work with you guys for a reason, okay? So get emotionally into this statement when I say this. How awesome would it be for you to have this knowledge that you have, and you have a mom or a dad that's at home, a family that's been fighting for 6 months, close to divorce, has no clue what to do, and they're scrolling through Facebook because that's where they find some meaning, some happiness in their depressed life, and they see your face saying, here are 3 things here are 3 reasons to not let your child's problems destroy your marriage. And they get to click on that at that moment. And they get to watch that video where you just share 3 simple things that is in that noggin of yours that is going to give them some relief at that moment to think, okay, wow, other people are going through this. It's not just me. And to show up for that person in that moment on social media when they're at their lowest and you showed up for them, that's huge. Like, imagine the relief that human being can feel because you did that. But if we don't put this stuff out, nobody has a chance to see it. And that's the point. And that's the space we get into when we do live content, especially with you guys, healers, is you have an opportunity. And if you don't do it, you'll never change your life. And if you do, you have an opportunity for somebody to be scrolling at the lowest moment of their life, see something that you put out there, engage with it a little, maybe just watch it, not say a word. And over the course of 3 months, they're going to watch you a little more because you're valuable to them now. You start to build a connection just by sharing information, like the famous Brene Brown. She's got so many connections just by sharing information. You start to do that at a very micro level. You start to connect with people, solve their problems. Just let some of that wisdom flow out in a very general manner. You don't have to bring in case studies. You don't have to talk about clients. You're just saying, here are some things you can try. Here are some things you can do. If you don't know what to do, here are some resources that you can check out. You're just equipping people with information. And lastly, even though we're going to go over this later, you finally teach people who you are. Okay? Like, how many of you have been ghosted before? Meaning you had a consultant with somebody and then they never called you back. They just left. Has that happened? You know why? Because they didn't like you. Sorry.
Or didn't know you.
I mean, don't take it personally because I teach you that on social media too. They just didn't like your style. They did not like you. Tons of people like you.
Right.
What you have to understand is some people don't like you. They just don't. They don't like the way your mouth moves. They don't like the way you talk. They didn't like that you had a plant over there that reminded them of their grandma, so they have to leave. Whatever it is. So you have to give people... I almost say sometimes that's more damaging to your practice than helping. Because for somebody that be like, okay, finally, I'm going to go step in, and then they don't like you, and then they never show up, they're going to say therapy doesn't work.
Yep.
Not for me. And they're going to go through pain for another year. But if they have a video, if they go to your page, they get to see not this sales pitch video, not the, B-roll footage. They get to see you as an authentic human being talking. Then let them make up their mind at that point. Do they want to see you or not? Give them that chance. And without video for your brand, you can't do that.
And live captures your personality. Like I was just thinking of that one that you did, Rika, that I've already shared with a few people. This is the other cool thing. The more that we build these videos, one of the reasons I got started was because I was like, I want these videos to share with my clients, and they do not exist. Like, I don't want to send them home with a book. They're not going to they're not going to read it. And so, just example, like Rika just did a video, and I was like, awesome. Like, I can share this content, and it's from a different perspective. And what I love about the lives is it totally captures people's personalities. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, that was all Rika. Because, your friend texted you or whatever, and you were like, ah. and I was thinking, there's one with you and Jason that you did.
Yeah.
And that one's one of my favorites. I've sent quite a few couples that one. And it captures just the essence of the person. And it's different than if it's a recorded video where you've got a script and you're like, in, I don't know, your different mode. When you're live, just whatever's coming and you adapt to it. That's the other cool thing is clients get to see how we respond to life. Like, one of my favorites is I interviewed the Betty Ford Children's Program. I interviewed Lindsay Chadwick, who's my friend. And we were probably halfway through the interview and my Facebook just froze because the night before I had set parental controls on my social media.
I will interrupt your feed.
And it just froze the parental controls had kicked in. And so we were live, and then it was frozen, right? So then we had to adapt. And I was like, Lindsay, what should we do here? And she was like, let's just do round two. So I turned off the parental controls, which my husband thought was hilarious because he was like, why are you putting parental controls on your phone? I'm like, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. It's going to track things. It wasn't that amazing in that sense. But that's a good example of just rolling with it. And our clients get to see that. And what an amazing thing to model that life can happen and this is how we're going to respond in the moment. We have resourcing. We can, check in with our bodies and be like, oh, like Rika did in their video of my body's feeling this way. And just seeing that I think is really powerful and it makes us really human and relatable.
And that's power. Again, if we want to break down that stigma around Hollywood of what you are and what's going to happen in therapy, then people need to find out who you really are and what you care about. And, I know some therapists and counselors that use harsh language, and I tell them, if that's what you're going to do, then do it in live video. Because don't let somebody show up and be appalled that you said a cuss word. If you're going to use harsh language and that's part of your stuff, snap the F out of it or something, kind of like the Tony Robbins way, say it. So create that expectation. Create that expectation of what you are, what people are going to go through, because you can start building that relationship. So let's go. I think we talked a lot about this, but I want to give you an opportunity to talk about communicating your why.
Yeah, so...
And I did a little sort of exercise with you. That's communicating your why. You are showing up for people. You are showing up for people where they're at, where they're hurting. That's the why. Isn't that why you do your job? Mm-hmm. To get that feeling of that resolution, helping somebody, seeing somebody get through problems and obstacles. To me, that's your why.
Which is really helpful also in getting clear on this because even from a marketing standpoint, I think what the Facebook Lives have done is help me hone in on what that why is.
Oh, yeah.
And then the clients that come in my office, especially if they've come in because of my videos or my Facebook or whatever, they're such a great fit. We're just it's just awesome. I'm like, you're the type of client I like to work with. I'm the type of counselor you want to work with. It's just the work of, I guess, selling them on therapy or it's already done. We're already friends.
Yeah, who agrees that counseling is 60% plus relationship with the person you're working with?
It's 80,
show of hands.
Yeah, 90.
Okay, where? The relationship is so important. I mean, just building that bond with somebody to help them get through their life's issues is so important. And that's where it comes into play. That's what just popped up when she's saying that. Show people who you are, what you do, your style. Be unapologetically yourself. If you're quiet and reserved, be quiet and reserved. Guess what? Somebody wants that. They want that. They don't want somebody overpowering like me to come in and like give you advice. If I were a therapist or counselor, I'd be very abrasive. Melissa might be a little more, genuine and loving. But show them. Go ahead.
So how do you plan out your Facebook Lives? Do you look at 6 months and plan it out?
This is a great question.
Or do you just like fly by the seat of your pants?
I'm a more fly by the seat of the pants type of counselor anyways. I think, so when I've done the ones just me, because most of the Facebook Lives I've been doing because I really enjoy them are interviewing other health professionals.
It's one of the easiest ways to get started. There's no pressure. You have two people to talk. It's conversational. You're both solving a problem. It's one of the easiest ways.
It's really fun.
So when you, sorry.
Okay, yeah, no, go ahead.
That's okay. Questions are conversation.
When you're interviewing someone, like what's the mentality you go with? Because are you trying to solve a problem? Do you talk ahead of time? If this is a problem we're going to solve.
Listen to the pro, yeah.
Yeah, so I borrowed this from Danny when he did me. That was the wrong language.
It's taken out of context. Yeah.
Okay, so when we first did our Facebook Live, okay, so when we first met, we sat down and he was like, "What's speaking to you? What would you want to share?" And we came up with an agenda, and this is what I do with all my interviewees. I sit down, and if they have no idea. This is probably one of the benefits of being an Enneagram 7 is I have interest in pretty much everything. So I usually already know something about the topic of whatever it is. And if I don't, then I'm like, perfect. Like I interviewed a professional cuddler, and I didn't know much about that, right? So I was like, perfect. Like I know that I'm going to ask, because I'm a curious person, I'm going to ask questions that I would want to know that the audience would want to know. And if I know the topic, like I interviewed somebody this week on horticulture therapy, I thought about, I had them you really want to focus on just a couple key pieces. Like as therapists, we know so much, and it's like, oh, how are we going to pick? So I have them we talk about what do you think would be the most valuable, or what do you notice in your practice that you would want to answer a question? And then we come up with an agenda, and then I tell them, I'm going to keep track of the agenda, and if you start to go, Rika's shaking their head. You remember this, Rika. If you start to go off topic, I will bring us back in so that it can stay focused and concise. When I've done it on my own, when it's just me talking, I use my clients as inspiration. So whatever is a theme that's come up that week, like I did one on how not to turn into your 15-year-old self over the holidays, because that was a theme that was coming up in my office. So I just use what's showing up, because my thought is what's ever showing up in my office is a micro, it's reflective of the culture at large. And so it's a microcosm of the world at large, really. So I just take those themes and then expand on it. I know, Rika, you've been using people asking questions and then responding to those questions on your platforms. So that's another route you could go.
And lifting each other up, okay? So if I were to meet with our most vocal question asker today and do a Facebook Live, which I love, I want to lift you up. I don't care. I don't want to talk about me. Marketing is so much more genuine when you're interviewing somebody else and talking about what they do. It's less genuine necessarily to talk about, hey, this is what I do. Come check me out. The power of me interviewing you about your essence and your specialty and the problems you solve is way more powerful than you talking about yourself. So when you take yourself out of the equation, so Melissa interviews everybody. She'll interview all of you. Happily.
If you're open to it.
Happily. But
Yes,
she talks
I love
about
that.
you. She talks about what you do. She talks about the problems you solve. She pulls out of you the stuff you already know in depth. And it's all about lifting you up. But if we're looking at it from a marketing standpoint, again, the marketer's in the room, she benefits greatly. People, has anybody, I call it Facebook stalking, and nobody necessarily understands. Have you ever Facebook stalked? Yeah. You saw somebody, you didn't know them. Next thing you know, you clicked on their picture. Next thing you know, you're at their profile. Next thing you know, you're going through 6 of their profile pictures, and you blacked out, and you're like, oh, God.
That happened.
What did I do? This is creepy. And that's what people generally do. They Facebook stalk. They see Melissa. They get curious about what Cambia counseling is. Next thing you know, they click on a link because they like her style. And then they sort of stalk her. and they go to websites and they check things out, and then they might follow. And this is the kind of things that happen behind the scenes of lifting somebody up, doing what she's doing. She's being very front focused with marketing just by pulling out the greatness and essence of other people. So if I had all of you in this room and I would team you up and say, talk to the other person and pull out from them their greatness, because I'm so guilty of this. Who feels like they have their best ideas for other people? Let's talk about therapy in general.
That's why we do this. Come on.
Yeah. Don't you wish that the things you're telling your people, you're like, man, I should do that. Probably should do that. It's just we tend to have our best. I have my best ideas for other people. Like I just do. Like this is clear what you have to do. Because it's money for us. But when you ask somebody else, like tell me about what you do. And when they talk, for you, you're just going to formulate that and be like, okay, this is what we're going to say. This is what stuck. And then you ask 2 questions, talk about it for 10 to 15 minutes, bam, you're done. You just created content. It's powerful. Content that's on brand. Content that's about something that you do or something that's close to what you do. Content that can be seen and viewed for the life of your Facebook page and the life of your brand, which we'll talk about later about repurposing, blogs, websites, Insta, LinkedIn, all the other social media sites. I love this part you talk about.
Okay. So engaging and being present. So I don't know if any of you experienced this, but having a lot of things that we have to take care of, even in our therapeutic work, where we're thinking about just managing a lot. And so what is so important for me therapeutically and with Facebook Live is that I can be fully engaged. So maybe, 4 years ago, I was exposed to the book, The Power of Full Engagement. And what it talked about was the key to high performance, the key to achieving whatever it is you're wanting to achieve is less about time management and more about energy management. And the other key component of that is to be fully engaged. And so when I'm with clients, everything else is shut off and I am fully present. And I do that also with Facebook Live. Like, I'm not thinking about anything else. I do my own little meditative exercise to get grounded, to get centered so that I can be fully present. And I think that makes those lives even more powerful because it just comes from a place of presence. And so clients, other people are more likely to connect with it. If I'm interviewing somebody, I'm less caught up in what should I say next and more like, again, being present to what they're saying. And this is all about engagement. And one of the things I think is really powerful is that we start to change how therapy is portrayed. Mm-hmm. Like somebody just told me there's some commercial. Who was this? This lady was telling me about this. This marketing person was telling me about this yesterday, where a guy is talking to his therapist about something, and it's a DirecTV commercial, and she's like not paying attention to him or something. It's like not helpful for our career. Like when she was our field, when she was explaining, I was like, that's really not that helpful for us, because it's basically like the therapist is totally ignoring the client, and I think it's concerned. She's concerned about DirecTV. I don't remember what it was about. But I was like, oh my gosh, that's not helpful. And so I really want to see us take a voice in this platform called the internet and shift how we're perceived, how mental health is perceived. And we can do that hugely through this platform.
It's one of the biggest reasons, when I spent 2 years at Centennial Peaks Hospital, I worked there. So I'm from the mental health and substance abuse industry. Huge passion. And when I started doing this, I can promise you the reason I do this work, and she can vouch for me, has nothing to do with making money. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. I am so emotionally invested in breaking down the stigma around mental health and substance abuse that's why I created this role in this business. That is my one intention. I can't do it alone. I need to empower people like you to start and change the way people view you and substance abuse providers. And we need to change the perspective of the way people think about you, because it's not Hollywood, the DirecTV commercial, that's billions of dollars spent constantly in front of people about this is what it's like. Therapist is going to ignore you. Yes, you're going to come in and sit down on a couch. Yes, I'm going to hold a notepad. Yes, I'm going to analyze you. We're going to talk about mom. First week, we're going to talk about mom.
That's your homework.
End of story. Talk about mom. And they just don't know what they don't know in life. And I have a big slide. I'm going to talk about that when we get a little bit. But I think we hit this pretty hard.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest piece to me. And
yeah, this is why she's so emotional. She gets involved in it.
yeah, it's the community collaboration. It's how can I form relationships? How can this community get stronger, have a voice? I've stayed out of social media for so long because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know where that's going. And then I realized, like, well, it's already here. So how can we influence it in a bigger way? Like, it already exists. It's already touching people's lives. Are the messages that we think would help raise human consciousness out there? Yes, but are they in huge force? And that's where we could come in and really start to elevate just overall the consciousness in the world. And I've already seen how cool the video platform can be. And I'm real stoked on it. A person from France just friended me on my page.
I get a lot of friends. And, you know,
I was like, that's interesting.
Women, you get a lot more friend requests than I do, which you have to sift through those a little easier. But, you know, who here knows or is passionate about a nonprofit here in Colorado? So we know we're passionate about a nonprofit. We're involved in it. Do they have a good voice? Can you go in and talk about this nonprofit and the great work that they do and help them have a voice and be heard and seen on social media? So nonprofits are horrible at this. I work with a lot of nonprofits now, luckily, but they're so bad. Like, they just hope that their little monthly meetings and things are going to happen and change, but they don't. It's this slow build. I'll show some statistics, but I recently started working with the Problem Gambling Coalition of Colorado. Their page has 62 likes. 62. That's tiny. We were able to do some live content and get it shared out to some groups. They were getting views of like 1.2K. They were getting reach of like 4,000. They were literally talking about problems people were having. And we connected with more people than they ever could have on their own. So let's go over obstacles. There's all kinds of obstacles. Any obstacle you don't see on the list that really, if you're just in a sharing mood, keeps you from going live?
I don't have time. Okay, so I feel this myself. And so what has been really crucial for me around this is, making the time, but also realizing, especially when I do the interviews, that it's also a time to connect with my colleagues. So seeing it as dual purpose, that it's not just I'm just spending time creating content, I guess, but that I'm like, well, I'm also connecting with other professionals, and I think that's really valuable. So it's, and I just schedule it, and it's really like 15, 20 minutes, because you go live. You're not going to do multiple takes, which is really what would take all the time, as if you were doing multiple takes over and over again. You just are like, okay, I got 15 minutes between this, session, or I got 10 minutes, and you just plug it in there, you do the live, and if you can, share it with a few groups, and you let it, off it goes.
Don't worry about it.
And don't worry about it. And that's huge. And I think you can do it in little bite chunks. And one of the things Danny suggested is picking one time a week. I think I was going every other week, which was really helpful. So every other week, that's how I got started, was going every other week and picking the same time, same day to go live. So I just built it into my schedule. I'm a morning person, so I think it was like a 7 a.m. time. And I just started building that ritual, and I could carve out 15 minutes every other week to go live. And then once I got momentum around that, then I've been able to incorporate more lives. But it's just a way to get started.
And who thinks I want to be like, what if I make a mistake? What if I look stupid? What if I say the wrong thing? I want to be perfect. That's another thing that holds people back, is to be perfect, right? Do you expect your clients to be perfect? What if they find out you're not perfect? Is that going to hurt the relationship? What if they find out that, you make a few mistakes? Yeah, you talk like a normal human being. Is that going to hurt your relationship with your client? No, we get into this analysis paralysis mode of, well, I can't be this, so I'm just not going to do it. And we stop. That's what holds so many people back. And then the next one, I'm going to go down to I might make a mistake here. I'm afraid I'll make a mistake, because this is one of the most powerful things. I'm going to write a book on this one day. Hopefully I actually do. I've said that like 90 times. I call it the 5% rule. You guys, and I don't mean you guys in general, I mean most people are making decisions on the 5% of what could go wrong. They're making full decisions on the 5% of what could actually go wrong. When we have a 95% chance of making an impact, changing the culture, connecting in our community, and yes, there's a 5% chance that whatever you're thinking in your mind right now could happen. Will it? Probably not. Has anything happened?
Well, I just roll with it.
Yeah.
Nothing major has happened, no.
Don't expect it to, but really there's a small chance of something going wrong. We just focus on it, and we belabor over it, and that's what keeps us away from doing our things.
And one of the sayings that really helps me, which helps me so much in life and therapy, comes from Gary Landreth. It's not what you do, it's what you do after what you did. And so I think about that all the time. I'm like, well, if, lots of things have happened. The thing has frozen. I forgot to hook up the microphones.
Yeah.
All kinds of, and you just roll with it.
Just
Just like you would in therapy. Like, something weird could happen. All right, you roll with it. And if you trust, the thing is we're so equipped to handle this because we manage so many things in the work we do. We have the ability to roll and adapt. It's just trusting in that and knowing, hey, I'm an aligned person. I know what I'm about. I can just be like I am in therapy and have a conversation about something that's going to provide value to people. And if you trust that, man, the rest, it just takes care of itself, I think.
It really does. Yeah, so don't focus on that. Don't focus on what could go wrong. That's just a clear thing holding you back from creating an impact and making a change in our culture. Don't focus on it. Because when we talk about technology, every time I work with somebody, this is what I tell them. Who's one of the most powerful technology companies in the world? Apple, right? All the money, billions of dollars. They hire the smartest individuals you could possibly imagine to come up with ISO 10.0, right? And they release this to us today. So with the company that has an unlimited budget to do everything that they want, to test and figure it all out, what happens a week later? 10.1. 10.1. Oh crap, everything's breaking. Let's fix this and that. These are the most intelligent human beings that can be hired for technology, and they're running into issues. Technology is going to be a problem. You're going to run into some obstacles. Some things are not going to work right. Just be prepared for it. It's okay. Be prepared. All right, so that kind of covers the clinical side. We just wanted to give you this kind of why, the emotion behind it. There's going to be a lot of statistics that I'm going to share, equipment knowledge, platforms. But as we finish this up, what questions are resonating?
Or even comments. I would love to hear what's brewing in the brains.
Have we shocked anybody? Nobody left.
That's usually.
So you talk about a lot of, I want it perfect, I don't have time. And I totally have a fear of getting on video.
You have this?
Being judged, right?
Yeah.
Totally. How do you get over it?
You just do it.
You
this
just
is
do
really
it.
a simple of the reasons people come to see you in therapy. They just show up and they do it. So powerful, so brave. They get in there and they start to answer all the questions of the unknown, right? It's the unknown that keeps us away from it. What to expect. Every live video I do when I support somebody, including Melissa, is the same thing after. Well, that wasn't that bad.
Very true.
That wasn't that bad. Everybody says the same thing. It's just this whole expectation of the unknown. What could happen? But once you pull the trigger, once you do it, once you get over the step, you're kind of like, that wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. And then you start to build that confidence. You start to be better. You start to be more confident. Because even in your industry, the people that talk the most win. I'm sorry, they do. If they're up doing public speaking, whatever it is, the people that talk the most win. And that's true in social media. You need a voice. It can't just happen organically by you having a great idea and a great logo and a great space. People aren't just going to fly to you. There's marketing that has to happen for you guys, and you have to embrace a different way of doing it. Because when I get deep into what I'm going to be teaching you today, we're going to talk about why video. Why live video over produced video? Why do you want to do a live instead of just doing something and uploading it? What is the difference? And I really want to show you the impact that live has, because we're going to go right to this.
Wait, can I say something up here?
Yes, please.
Answering your question, that's where I was saying I channel that vicarious resilience of oh my gosh, my clients, man, they show up, and I think about ways that I've seen them just be so brave, and I'm like, how can I channel that bravery? I also think about times of like starting my own business and how brave that was, and what did I have to do to overcome that fear. So I like pull a lot from a lot of different resources. Just like I said, I channel my lineage of like, hey, bold people out in the world that were like, I can't imagine moving to Montana when it wasn't a state. There were grizzlies, there still are, wolves. I mean, it was a pretty rowdy place. And to do that requires this sense of like, I'm in the unknown and I'm confident. And when I channel all those resources, that's what helped me kind of go over the hump of the initial fear of like, well, I've done lots of things where I didn't know what was going to happen. I went to grad school. I knew there was going to be a lot of reading. Like, was I going to, like, but I didn't know that it was going to kick my ass. I didn't know that part, that emotionally I would be exposed. One of the most challenging things, and yet I overcome. So I feel like channeling a lot of that resilience is what helps me with this. Because, yeah, I mean, it's just one other thing now that we do.
Yeah.
And once you do it, yeah, go ahead, Rika.
Can I offer a perspective? So for me, the perfectionism piece, live solves it because you're not, and the time piece, it solves it because you can't go back and make it perfect.
Oh.
You have to just, what you did it, it's done, you took 15 minutes, and there you go, it's out there, just like, you walking around the world.
It's like a coffee meeting, yeah.
The live thing went totally. I've been wanting to do video content for a really long time because that connection piece, that's all what we do, right? And I kept, when I would do it, it would take me like hours and hours and hours because I would be editing and I'd be, oh, I got to do that retake. I didn't say this right, whatever. The live is like, boom.
It is.
Out in the world. I can delete it if I don't like it.
Yeah, you can totally delete
I
it.
have to do it again.
Yeah, and then there's people. So me and Melissa had this conversation earlier. There are people in this room, there are people watching live that they are like here. Like they just need a little bit that I hope to give them today that they're going to be like, okay, I'm sold. I'm going to do it. Some of you might be in here right now. Okay, I'm sold. I'm going to do it. But then there's also a lot of you that are kind of like, I don't think I can. I'm afraid. And the point is, and why I exist, is to be that catalyst for you. Without Melissa, without me finally reaching back out to her 6 months later, without me finally getting in touch with her, she probably wouldn't be doing live right now.
No.
She probably wouldn't be making an impact. The reason I created this role and I created this job is because I know you just need somebody to lift you up and to pull you through the process and to teach you what it means and to support you as you go through this until the point where you're Melissa. And you're doing your thing, and you're making an impact,
your own version.
and you're doing it a great job. And again, I can't stress that I don't do it for money. I want you to be doing well and be seen and heard. But I know that a lot of you need that catalyst. There's no issue around it. If I leave you your devices and say, go do live tomorrow, be like, yes, let's do it. And then tomorrow you're kind of like, well, it's a busy day. I don't feel good.
Sunny.
It was sunny yesterday. Yeah. Now it's cloudy today. I don't feel good. No. And you just don't. And that's why I exist, to help push you through this process, to help you get the feet you need under you, and then we eventually break up, happily. We break
and
up.
it's huge. Like, I think after the one where I had the parental controls, I called you and I was like, Danny, we now know about this new feature.
And I didn't know about that. I learned that too.
And that was really helpful. Like, you really coached me along. And I've done that a few times where I'm like, oh, I forgot to plug in the sound. So the first 5 minutes, not that great. And we've just talked it out. And I think that has been really helpful.
Yeah, I'm just here to support you, be a catalyst, help you get further, be seen and heard, know you're doing it right, know when to do it, how to do it, the whole nine. This is my side of the thing where I'm going to get loud and animated because this is what I care a lot about. I want you to be educated. This is now, you got sort of the front end stuff. Now this is your marketing lesson on the deets behind it. But who's heard the word Facebook algorithm? Forever changing. Facebook's deciding what they're going to show, what they're not going to show, if you should be shown, if you shouldn't be shown. Well, last year when Mark Zuckerberg got put on stand and looked awkward, he wrote something. He said, Facebook is now going to prioritize content from friends, family, and groups. Notice he doesn't say business pages. Friends, families, and groups. As we roll this out, Zuckerberg wrote, you'll see less public content like posts from businesses, brands, and media, and the public content you see, more will be held to the same standard. It should encourage meaningful interactions between people. You can't just have a business page now and post a blog and expect for your business page to be seen and heard. Facebook is clearly saying you suck. You suck. You're putting this out there because it makes you feel good. Like you like to have a blog about what you do out there. It has nothing to do with really engaging your audience and what it is you really do. And video is a clear winner when it comes to doing that. Video engages with people. It gets people to comment, to interact, to say hi, to just be with you and engage with you when you do live video. And they don't do that with any blog post. They don't do that with any picture post. Sure, people will like it, but that's not engagement in Facebook's eyes. And if you do have a business page, because we'll talk about business, personal, and groups today, if you do have a business page, it's dying slowly. Facebook's pushing it further and further down as fast as they can because they think you guys are ruining their platform. You're just not doing a good job connecting with people through social media. So that's where, when I encourage Melissa to do profile, we'll talk about why often I encourage people to start on a personal profile. We'll talk about reasons about building brand, their strategy behind this because of the way the algorithm is changing. So who in here has never gone live before? Beautiful. I love it. Let's get our phones out. Let's get our phones out. Let's go into Facebook. There's no stress here. Don't freak out. I'm going to teach you the coolest trick that I teach most people. So as we see up here, I want you to go to Facebook, and I want you to hit that live button. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to ask you if it can have access to your camera. It's going to ask you if you can have access to your microphone. That's all that's going to happen. What's that? So is anybody having issues? Let me help. Okay. So go to your main profile, and it'll be a red button at the top. So go to just your feed, and you're on pages. Is that what you have? Okay. So allow access. Yep, we're not going to go live yet. So allow it to just have access to your camera when you. Oops, I'm sorry. Yep, go back and slide that finger. All right. Sorry, I did say profile. Go to your feed.
Oh, feed.
Yeah. And then Android, I think that, and then go live. So go ahead and click
I had
it.
the same issue.
Red button at the top.
Oh, yeah, so he's talking about
right.
you want to go to your profile
So we're going to click
page.
live. Okay and okay. Microphone and camera. Have you done
Okay,
it?
that's
Yeah,
not your
any
profile
issues?
page.
You can see
Is
your own
this it?
face. It's beautiful. Any luck?
I'm taking it off my phone.
Oh, gotcha. I understand that. All right, now at the top, where I circled, where it says to public post story, click that. So where I circled, click that. You're going to get a screen that looks something like this,
So do you see the post
and you're going to see
story?
this option,
Right
only me. That means if
Post
you want to
story.
test out what Facebook Live is about, and you select only
there it
me,
is.
if you were to select
Okay.
that right now and go live, you could hit
you
the go
can
live
do
button and be
only
live,
you.
and nobody would know about it. It would be for your own personal profile. You'd be the only
Only
one
me.
person that would ever see it in life, and nobody can see it. So it's a great tool that I teach people when you want to get started. If you want to try Facebook Live, do it this way. Set it up. Get your where you at?
Do you have it?
Perfect.
Oh, so you go here.
Okay,
And
so you
then
need the
friends of
you do need the Facebook
friends.
app to go live. So you're on the internet.
You got to go only me.
And then when you do only me, you can test. You can come up with 3 points you want to talk about. You can sit in front of the camera and go. Nobody sees it. Nobody's going to pop on. The beauty is when you're done and you hit finish, then it's going to give you an opportunity. You can share it as only just you on only my page, and it can be there. Or if you thought, okay, that wasn't bad. I didn't ruin that. That was good enough. You can change it to friends or public and then upload it. And you're still going to benefit from the live algorithm that we're going to talk about today. And you're still going to have content that's going to be seen and heard, but you didn't have to worry about people hopping in and seeing you. One of the biggest fears is like somebody hops on, you're like, somebody's here. I don't know who they are. What do I do? This allows you to start testing the platform, getting some of those jitters worked out, and then you can start putting content out that's live content.
So can you go back to the personal page versus the business page? I thought that Melissa said that you have a business
I
will.
do.
page now. Like,
I will. I have a slide on it for sure. So
Sorry, can you repeat one thing?
yes.
I was trying to make notes of how to do this.
Yeah.
So if you do only me, then you can change your mind and post it
Afterwards.
afterwards.
Yeah, you
Is
can
your-
hit
go
done.
ahead. Did you change? Are you only me?
No,
Okay, you're to friends. Let's go to. Sometimes you gotta see all.
I think I have to. Okay.
It's the technology.
Only me, so we're good. We got only me. So up here now it says only me.
Okay.
Bam. We're going to go live.
Okay.
Nobody will see this. This is your personal profile. That's it. So it doesn't matter. Now we say you delivered some earth-shattering content.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
you nailed it.
Yeah.
We finish.
Okay.
Okay? Now this pops up. and this is how it'll look when you end every video. Now we have the ability to change it. So now it's only me. Now you could change it to public or friends and then hit share.
How do you
Why not, you know?
You can hit save in
about
the
the
bottom
video.
left-hand corner, and then it'll go into your camera roll. And that'll be a lot of repurposing stuff.
Okay.
So that's really cool. So we didn't like it. We don't want it anymore. We hit delete,
I like
and we delete.
No.
that makes the fear go away for me.
Exactly. That's what I... But also, this is a great segue.
Yeah,
You
I
are
guess I
not
was
your
just
biggest
like-
fan. I'm sorry.
Because I did it with Danny.
You are
I
not
was
your
just
biggest
like,
fan
he'll-
at all. You will
he
pick apart
will
everything you
take on
do
that
to a T.
responsibility.
I
was like, I'll
encourage
just
people
let him
to
lead,
send it to
and I'll
friends
follow. That
and
really
let them give them feedback. Hey, I did this live video. What do you think? That's why we're creating a group. I have a group that I'll share with all of you guys if you put in your email. A group where we can do this stuff.
Well,
We
I
can
mean-
go live inside a group that's closed. You can go inside a group. Imagine if after today we could all just have a group of us, and next week we did a live video in there, and only these people could see it. People that want you to do
I
well.
have a Facebook group also, so
Yeah.
you can post videos just to certain
Just to a group. I have people that have a group of like 60 people, and that's where they choose to start to go live. It's their people that support them about what they love, and they go live. And it's a good way to get the bugs out.
I wanted to answer a question that came up. Of when I first went live, was I concerned that I would just look stupid, I guess, and not know what to say or what to do? And my answer to that was, I think what really helped was that I was going live with Danny, and I knew he had been doing this for a year straight, his own Facebook Lives. So I just trusted, like, well, he's the expert. I'll just let him lead, and I'll follow. No big deal. And so that relieved me of so much pressure, because then I was like, okay, cool. Like, he'll ask me questions, and I just get to sit here and chill out and have a conversation, and I feel comfortable with that. So that really helped with getting over the fear of, like, how am I being portrayed? And I know that a lot of the people that I have interviewed that have at least continued, I think the interview really helped them get started. You're shaking hands.
That's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, Dennis, and we did it, and it was like me and Melissa.
So fun.
Shooting shit on my couch, and so it was wonderful. Talking about stuff we talk about anyway. And then afterwards, I was like, I gotta do that again. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So I think that first interview
It is.
with somebody who you can just like let them take the wheel is.
And it's fun and it's dynamic, like when I've interviewed people and we've just like had this conversation, it's fun and you forget the video's there. You're just having this fun conversation about something that you're passionate about. And yeah, it's like we're shooting the shit like when we do anyways, but the camera happened to be on.
And team up with somebody that resonates with your personality. Shooting the shit. Teammates. If you're like, I don't want to shoot the shit, I'd rather just have a conversation. Then find that person and connect with them. That's typically your friend, the person you're having lunch with, coffee with, the person you support in your community. And again, the reason I exist and the reason I created a business model is just to bring out the best in you through this process. To make you not be afraid, to make you go through this process with confidence that you're doing it right, confidence that you're not going to make as many mistakes, confidence that somebody's lifting you. Most of the time, all the clients I start with, I'm interviewing them. I'm just interviewing them with live video. I'm setting up the feed. I'm going through the process of pulling out their individual essence and greatness. And that is what I'm best at. I want to make you look like the best therapist or counselor that's ever walked this earth. The best. And yeah.
So how do people find you? That's my question. So you do the video. You want people who are not connected to you to find you.
Yeah.
Is it through keywords? Is it through
There's some organic things we do. So there's two words. There's organic and Facebook ads. I play a lot with the organic stuff in the beginning. Tagging people, encouraging other people to share. Let's say we did a live video in Stepping Stone. We would encourage people in the video to share it out to their personal feeds to show what they're doing. Then we get a bigger audience. Utilizing groups. Yeah.
Did you mention the algorithm has something to do for looking for people saying, share this, like this, tag this?
Yes, we'll go over that when it comes to live video. Yeah, but specifically for live. But yeah, sharing it out.
'Cause that's what I'm dealing with right now. So very small company. We're the ones with 60 followers.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So we've tapped out all cousins, friends and all that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
if you want to get to that bigger audience, you want to get to the users, you want to get to the people who want that help. Or
Interviewing other
professionals
people.
here who see that sort of
This is all part of strategy. She calls it community collaboration. I call it social hacking. We find other people
Tomato.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I just think of it from more of a high-level marketing standpoint, and she thinks it more of collaboration. But you find somebody that has an okay following, and you interview them on your page about everything that they do that's so awesome. And then they share the crap out of it because it's about them. And now all of a sudden you start to get more eyes on your brand, more people liking you, more people following you. This can be individuals, this can be nonprofits, this can be businesses, interviewing other businesses. If there's a clinician that you work with a lot.
So we do it with you, let's say.
Yeah.
And then you like it.
If you
And then-
talk to me and ask me questions about everything I do and make me look amazing, I'm going to share the crap out of it.
Yeah.
It's like a free commercial that you gave me. And then all of a sudden, now we have a better relationship and bond because you made me look awesome and did something for me. Now I remember you. I'm not going to forget you. And I'm going to also share the crap out of that content to my audience. And now you have the ability to be seen and heard by more people for free. It's few extra steps. There's like literally 4 extra steps after you go live that are going to change the difference between how your video does. Because your video is going to perform for 7 to 10 days. Because live has nothing to do with anything.
And a good example of this is I share an office space with a chiropractor, and people that were connected with me have now gone to see the chiropractor because they saw the Facebook Live I did with the chiropractor.
And then they wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have known
And they wouldn't
Kevin
have
Holman,
known-
Golden Health Chiropractic. They wouldn't have known that he existed. They just wouldn't have known. This is being seen. This is being visible. This is letting people make their own decision. This is not selling. If we work together for a long time, eventually I'm going to push you to doing some targeted ads once you're putting out good content because you might as well. You're a business. You might as well benefit from it. But in the beginning, we're just organically doing great things, changing people's lives.
What type of equipment do you really need for this?
Great question, and I'll bring it up in the end. So I'm going to keep rolling just so we can get through everything. But I wanted to show you something about live video. This is a brand that I worked with, and these are minutes viewed, okay? You guys might not know a lot about minutes views, but this is how Facebook's prioritizing content now. It used to be views, right? How many views did you get? That was great. Let's get to more views. Facebook added this category called minutes viewed. How many minutes are people watching your stuff? How important is it? Are they in there for 3 seconds for a view, or are they in there for 3 minutes? Or are they in there for 10 minutes? They start tracking this stuff, and this is how they're prioritizing your content. This is a brand that I went live with, and we went live the same day every week, except for that week. But they expected us to go live. And this is the engagement that we got just by using live video. Talking about normal stuff, talking about the problems they solve for people, engaging the audience, bringing other people on. I mean, this is up into 800 minutes viewed. I mean, you're talking the previous period that I worked with when I didn't work with this business, they got 4,700 views. This time, 15,225. That's huge. More people seeing your brand, more people. What that says to me is you're giving people what they want. You're just giving people what they want. They want to watch it. It's in wherever they're at and whatever stage they're in their life, you're giving them what they want. And then this is just the same thing for post reach. So there's 2 colors here, organic and paid. And I just want to encourage you, this is all just organic. This stuff just happened. We let Facebook. The reason that we do live over produce, this is a great time to go into this. Why? I'm sure that's all in the back of your head. Why do live over produce? Live is essentially Facebook. If they think people are going to engage with it and like it, it's essentially Facebook running ads for you with all the knowledge that Facebook has. They're making the decision, wow, this is good. People like this. We're going to show it to more people that are likely going to really like this because we want them to feel good about when they're on social media. That's organic between paid. You can put out a paid advertisement and pay somebody $1,000 and nobody liked it. It got shown to all the wrong people. You know, you wanted to show it to this group. Next thing you know, it's going to this group, and they're like, why am I seeing this? And you get negative scores. This is all organic. This is just when you hit that live button. So if you had a $5,000 produce video for your brand, we need produce video. Produce video lives on our websites. That's when we have our warm or hot customer. They're going to our website. They want to know more about us. They're ready to find out who we are. Okay? We need video there. Video on websites increase conversion rates by up to 62%. If you don't have a video on your website, you're 62% less effective at having somebody come in to see who you are and what you're about. That's a fact.
That's huge.
So produce video is cool. You got to have it. But if today, at the same time, I were to put up a $5,000 produce video that looks sweet, like I'm talking graphics and everything, it's like the best depiction of your company for you that you could have, and we were to do a live video at the exact same time, no money behind it, and upload it to Facebook and do a live, this one is going to annihilate that video. This video is likely going to get like 32 views, and this video is going to get like 1,000. Facebook is going to naturally, they prioritize live video in their algorithm. If they know you were brave enough to hit the live button and actually go live, they're like, you did us a solid, we'll do you a solid. Because you know why? You know why they do that? Because they know they're likely not selling on a live video. A produced video, you've put thought into this. What am I going to say? What's the call to action? What do I need them to do? You're going to sell them, and Facebook knows that, and they don't want people selling on their platform. They want people connecting. So they know when you hit live, you're likely just going to talk about something and add value, and that's going to sell. It really is.
How does it work? And I'm so sorry if you already said this.
That's okay.
Like, cleared me out, like,
Yeah.
but, like, when you do this and you initially put just me and then like you decide to change it up.
Yeah.
And then it's not exactly live because you've already recorded.
It's still live. Yeah. You just missed out on any engagement while you were live, which not a huge deal. You're still going to benefit from the live platform, the live algorithm. Facebook is going to know it's not live. They're going to know you. They don't necessarily track only me or public. So you're
So that's still considered live then?
that's still considered live. You're still going to get the benefit of it. Yeah.
I just like that option of being able to delete something, that's all.
But as your coach, I wouldn't let you stay there long. I mean, that's a safe spot. I totally get it, but then it's not encouraging us to be able to deal with live viewers when they hop on, answer questions, engage. I don't care if it's your best friend jumping on saying, "What's up, Shane?" As soon as Facebook sees that, they're like, "Okay, well, this guy must like it. Let's show it to more people of his." This is how they're making decisions. It's
Shane's cool.
It's this ever-changing algorithm that's like, yeah, this guy seems to like Shane. And guess what happens next week just because that guy said, "Hey, Shane"? He's going to see Shane's live video. It's going to be shown and prioritized on the feed because Facebook's like, okay, there was an engagement there. We like that. This guy must obviously like that. It's going to pop up again. I make the joke all the time. If you comment on one of my videos, you're done. I'm only going to tell this tiny group. I mean, you're going to see me. You just are. If you get engaged with my content, you're going to see more of me. Facebook, that's how the algorithm works. Comments, likes, shares. Okay? That's how it works.
Which is why when I see any of our peers going live, I like to comment because then the chances of, even if I don't have time to watch the whole video, because then I know that it's going to get out to more viewers and it's building that community.
Yeah, that's why I comment. I make sure I comment on everything Melissa does. I'm like one of the first guys, like, hey! Because I'm like, you're doing great things. Of course I want people to see more of what you're doing. This is fantastic. You know, I want to see you lifted up. Here's a little, a company that I work with called Clever Funnel Digital. Tiny likes. This is like almost non-existent, 112 likes. We did a live video over here, their very first live video. As a marketing agency, they'd never done this. We did a live video. This was the live video. This is the kind of reach that we got and the kind of views that we got. 1.3K views, very first time they ever did live, had no video on their page. This was the growth that happened. This is all organic. That's more people that saw their brand. That's 4.1 thousand reach, and that's 1.3 thousand views. Very first live video, tiny page. So think about your page in perspective of what it is. If you have good content and people are interested in it, it's going to grow without any ads. Here's another one I told you about, problem gambling in Coalition of Colorado. More dead. 63 likes. That's dead. Nobody's in there. Nobody's liking with it. Hypothetically, in the Facebook world algorithm, only 63 people should be able to see this. People that like the page. We did the first live video with Peggy Ann Brown, who's a recovering gambling addict for 20 years. Did that first live video with her. 1.9K on a reach, and I didn't put her views up, but she had like 1.2K views. Okay, how do we do that? What do we do, right? You're like, I'm going to give you all my secrets. I went out and found some gambling support groups. Gambling support groups. This is valuable information talking about a recovering gambling addict and what she's been doing and how she had a suicide attempt a year after gambling. Valuable stuff to teach people about what it means to get on the other side of this. Peggy Ann is a survivor, but she's a survivor that wants her story to be known and seen, and we want to push her up in the right way to help other people get through the problems that they're experiencing. The analogy I use in our industry is that the healed want to hide. I mean, the broken want to hide, and the healed can't wait to be found. They just can't. Give them a chance to tell their story, to connect with somebody, and do that. But as we keep doing live video, we keep getting up in like 3,000 people reached, It just grows, and it's just using a lot of these organic things. Have you seen your page grow at all? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know the difference between the liking and the follow
I love
on
it.
Facebook. Could you
I don't know
actually speak to
either.
that? Okay.
I'll tell you when I don't know something. I have no clue.
I know some people like
know
it,
you
and then I
can-
see that some people follow, and I don't.
I know you
the
can just
difference.
follow a business page. You can just follow it. I don't know what the difference is.
Okay.
Without liking it, you can actually follow it. I don't know. I don't even know on a personal profile what the difference is. Liking and following. I know if you like, you'll still see their stuff. It still means I want to see your stuff, but I don't know what that means.
After every live I do with a different professional, I usually get a handful of more likes to my page. I mean, that's what I have seen. So it continues to grow,
Just
and it continues to have engagement. Whereas before I'd post this awesome article, and I'd be like, this is going to be so great, but I only had like 50 likes, so only 50 people got to see it. Now, the reach is much greater because there's more
Because you're using
engagement.
live. You're using the platform that social media prefers. I don't care if you're YouTube. I don't care if you're Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn now is releasing live video. Live video is the way we are going to be connecting over the next 5 years. The longer you wait for everybody else to be doing it, the longer that your message is not going to be seen and heard as easy. The analogy I use with that is, who uploads videos to YouTube right now? Okay, it's pretty easy, right? Like, you just kind of film it, you get it how you want it, you upload it to YouTube. Without even seeing your page, you get like 15 views, maybe 19, maybe 20 if you're lucky. Imagine doing that 5 years ago. Oh my God, was that not scary? Upload a video to YouTube? Are you kidding me? No way. I'm not doing that. Then all your colleagues started to do it. Then you started seeing other people do it. And then you're like, well, this can't be that hard. I'm going to try it. Then you try it. Then you find out it's not hard and they're uploading to YouTube. But guess what? You're not going to win on YouTube right now. You're just putting content out because that's what everybody else is doing. Facebook Live is YouTube 5 years ago. You can wait 5 more years. Yeah.
So I just want to understand the strategy too, because I think Melissa, you said earlier that you do the Facebook Live, then you upload it to YouTube, and then you put it on your website.
Yes.
Can you help me understand
How that all comes together.
Is that something that you help me develop, or?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Can we wait for that to come up? And I have a repurposing slide that's coming up. And we have half hour left, so we're going to have to fly through.
Okay.
I'm going to fly through some of this stuff. I am going to share this slide with you, this whole deck, everything we have. I'm going to share this with you. You're going to have it all, so don't feel the need to take crazy aggressive notes, even though the first half was just pictures, so I hope you took notes there. Mine tends to have a little more. But these are a lot of reasons. Brand visibility, be seen more by colleagues and potential customers. You're forgetting that your colleagues are one of your biggest. Why do you go to these networking events? To connect with colleagues, maybe get a referral. Why, instead of going to one and connecting with 4 people, why don't you start doing live and connect with 4,000? They just need to be reminded. What do you do? What's special about you? Reaches existing fans faster. Somebody that already likes your page, once you start doing live, they're going to be notified. They're going to start seeing things you're doing more frequently. Showcasing the strengths on your business, brand, or passion in a real and unique way. We touched on that a lot in the beginning. Just exactly like Melissa says, having your why, being clear, helping people.
Can I share something really funny?
Yeah.
So my friend, I have a few friends that follow, and one of my friends is like, I'm so behind on your lives, but I've decided that I'm going to take, they were on vacation for 2 weeks, and they were like, I'm going to take one day, and it's going to be like a Netflix binge, and I'm just going to watch all your lives. And I was like, oh, okay. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, the people that love you are going to support you, and that's what I would draw from. Like, you have lots of supports in your life, and they're going to be like my family watches it because they're like, I get to see what you're up to. Like, we're all really busy, and that's another really cool thing to me is that people are engaging in my life, that get to see me in doing something I'm really passionate about, when counseling is such a intimate, private, confidential setting. So most of my family and friends don't get to see what I do. Right?
You ever just wanted somebody to win because you liked them? Like, you don't care what they do. You're just kind of like, I like you. I hope you win. This is your sales force out in social media. I like Shane. I like what he's doing. I want him to win. If he puts out a Facebook Live video, I'm happy to share it. Mm-hmm. I'm happy to click that share button. And then instead of having a group of like 25 people that could see it, now there's a group of 2,500 that can see it. Now he gets exposed to my social media. Your team, your people, I don't care who they are, moms, aunts, uncles, husbands, sons, daughters, they will go to work for you. I promise you they will go to work for you, and you will be seen and heard by more people on social media because of that. And when you are, Facebook starts to put you in a different category of, okay, this person's doing something good. People are sharing their stuff. Like, let's show this a little more. And that's the key behind it, being seen by more people. So this is my pie graph that I love to share. This is social media in general, okay? There's 25% of people that they really want what you have right now. Like, if they could just be shown something, they're already in the phase. They're like, I want to make a decision. They're there. They're interested. There's 25% of people that don't want. They're like, why am I seeing this? I don't want this. You know? I interact with treatment centers, so I'm people constantly trying to get me into treatment through Facebook ads. I'm like, it's a waste of money. But I get what you're trying to do. They just don't want it. That's 25%. The biggest part of the pie, which Melissa's going after, which I'm going after, with anybody that's using Facebook Live is going after, is the 50%. They just need more information. They don't know what they don't know, and until you go out there and start teaching them what they don't know, they're still not going to know what they don't know. And it's just not going to happen. You're not going to make them make any changes. This is the pie that we go after. When it comes to live, see this whole marketing funnel. You guys heard the word funnel? I don't love it, but it is what it is. Live is on the very front end. We want to attract cold people and make them warm. So we want to attract people that don't know us and bring them closer to warm. And that's where all that other stuff that I don't do, I wish I could help you with, but websites, all that stuff that you're driving people to start to convert them from warm to hot to actually walking through your doors, you're still going to need that. I focus on getting people that are cold and attracting them to your brand in a warm way. Come in. Step in the door. The rest of your stuff still needs to sell them, still needs to convert, and I'm using these words from a marketing mind. That's why I have her to offset me. But sell them means get them into your practice. Make them take a chance. Make them actually put themselves first. You know what I mean when I say that? So I say that's who we go after, the biggest piece of the pie. 80% of people would rather watch live video from a brand than a blog, and 82% of people prefer live video from a brand over social posts. Who likes watching video? All of us. I mean, it's just a very cultural thing. When we don't have video, people aren't engaging with us as much. They don't want to learn about your practice through a 3-paragraph thing that you spent 3 months figuring out and getting fine-tuned. They're not reading it. They're not engaging with it. Who's really in touch with their website stuff, knowledge? Okay. Time spent on websites are going down, right? It's just they're not spending as much time clicking around and seeing things. They're spending enough time to go around and click around and see what you feel like. And they're looking for video. I promise you. They're looking for a video that they can click on to see what you really feel like so you can show them what they want to see through a video. That's where branded, produced video comes into play. We do need to have that. The very first thing on Melissa's page, I think is the second live video we did?
Yes.
The second live video we did. They get to see her laughing, just being herself, which is what she wants to do. When we think about marketing, who we want to talk to who you want to talk to. Don't overwhelm this. Who's your perfect client? Do they show up early? Do you hate when people are late? Tell people. It's a pet peeve. I hate when people are late.
Can I piggyback on something
Yeah.
you just said? When I refer other therapists, if they have a video, I include it as a link in the email I send a client or the text message that I send a client because I want them to get a feel for the person. So that's another reason why I want to see more of us doing it because I think it's so powerful. I want them to get a sense of, instead of just going to the website, who that person is. And so a big part, like when I'm like, here are these therapists I recommend, if I know they have a video or we've done a Facebook Live together, I include that link and I'm like, this will give you a good feel of who this person is. And I want to see people not, I've had lots of clients come in who are like, I've tried lots of, we've been to other couples therapists and we really didn't click. And it's not because I don't think that couples therapist is trained or has the credentials. I trust most folks in this field are doing powerful work. It's just that they didn't click with the person, which is the most powerful thing that we offer folks is who we are as humans. And so I want to see people doing video because it's more likely people will actually engage in therapy.
What's the rule of thumb for how long the Facebook Live video should be?
Depends. When you first get started, we want baby steps. I mean, you just want to get it done. I don't care if it's a minute and a half or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I don't care. When it comes to interviewing people, we shoot for a 10 to 15 minute range. We want to stay around 10 to 15 minutes, somewhere in between there. That's enough time. We're going to talk about the difference between live viewers and replayers because I'm going to blow your mind. Who cares about live viewers? Sorry, audience is watching live. Really, when it comes to the overall performance of these videos, some of these things I showed you here, like when we finished this thing, when I left the office at 1.3K views, it had like 22 views. When I left the office, when we finished it up and put out this gold, it had 22 views. Over the next 7 to 10 days, it works. It just goes. That's Facebook doing what they do best for you. Really, when it comes, it depends on who you want to appeal to. If you really do want to get a big live following, the longer the better. So anytime you see really long videos where they're shucking clams or whatever they do that I watch all the time for some reason, they want that to be long. They want as many people to hop in because Facebook's algorithm, as far as notifying people that you've actually gone live, it takes around 20 minutes, oddly, for them to have notified most people that you've gone live. 20 minutes. So they say at 20 minutes you'll have your peak live viewership at 20 minutes. You should have, everybody was notified, likely you'll be at peak live viewer in 20 minutes. Why else live? Viewers spend 8 times longer with live video than on demand, and they're 10 times more likely to comment or interact. So they're going to watch your live video 8 times longer because they don't know what you're going to do. They don't know what you're going to say. So they're curious. If it's a produced video, they know how this is going to go. You're going to talk about how great you are and sell them. And they're 10 times more likely to do what Facebook likes. Comment, share, interact. Yes?
So you go live. Do you do a preliminary saying, I am going to go live?
You can do that.
You can. We did that this morning. You don't have to. In the beginning, you don't want live viewers. In the beginning, you want to just kind of like, let me get through this. Like, that's why I showed you how to do only me. In the beginning, just start only me. Get through it that way, and make sure it's great and then go. But, no. You can eventually. It can be part of any strategy but I don't often do it. I schedule live sometimes, like this one I scheduled at 6 a.m. With other platforms I'll show you today, you can actually schedule them so people can be notified of it way before ahead of time. You schedule some now with other platforms, but I'm going to skip over that. Okay, repurposing. We talked about this. Okay? Do you have a question?
Yeah, again, real quick, if you do an only me video, can you schedule the release of it?
No.
Like 8 a.m. the next morning?
Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can schedule it only me. Yeah, you can schedule your yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you recorded the night before, you say, I want this going out.
No. You can on a business page. You can schedule posts on a business page. But likely, yeah, it's not a, you don't want to do that with live video. You want live video to be, you finish it, it's good, share it, let it work.
There's a peak time during the day where people are watching live video.
There can be peak times, but again, you have 7 to 10 days for this to work. You'll hit those peak times. Yeah, as long as you're getting comments and interactions. And we can all help each other. Like if you join the group we're in, that's why I comment on Melissa. I want to help her. You might want to help her. Just go into the video and say, that was great. Help. Just help. It'll help her be seen and heard. But this is one live video. I did a 15-minute live video with Kakua Recovery. Do you guys know Kakua? They're a good adolescent program up.
Near Greeley, aren't they?
Near Greeley, yeah. But this is what happened. We did one live video, and you get to save every live video you do. It is yours. The raw content is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. We turned this into a 1:20 clip about what makes Kakua Recovery unique. I asked him that question at about the 3.5-minute mark. 1.5-minute clip that then gets released with music behind it. It looks good, the whole 9. 1-minute clip for Instagram. You can only upload Instagram clips 1 minute or less if it's going to be a video. About adolescents 13 to 18, what they do. And another 1.5-minute clip about how does adventure therapy help. Something else he talked about in the video that then we repurpose. One video gets ended up turning into one live video and 3 reoccurring posts throughout the month to LinkedIn, to YouTube, to Instagram for one of them, to anything else that you have. One live video can be turned into, and that's a part of my program. What I offer is I end up taking an hour of your time and creating content into 4 pieces that you have video throughout the month. You're consistently in front of your audience, consistently putting out valuable content. And then the other things we miss is who does blogs in here? Love it. Sometimes it's hard. I'm happy you do it. It's hard to do. It takes time, energy, the whole 9. Facebook Live videos are blogs. There's a company out there called Rev.com, and then there's a person I use on Fiverr. Does anybody know Fiverr? Amazing. For $15, she transcribes the whole video, gives me everything on brand that I talked about. I take those words, I put it in a blog post on a website with the YouTube video embedded above it, and bam. In 15 minutes, we've created content for a blog, other social media sites. We've done it all because it's about being efficient as well.
What is that conversion?
For
Company?
Rev.com, R-E-V.
Oh, R-E-V. Okay.
They'll do it, I think it's $1 a minute, so not much. It's a 10-minute video, it costs you $10. And everything you said gets sent to you in a document that you can just post onto your website and complete a blog. So there's so many ways. It can actually be turned into a podcast as well.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I don't know how you.
That site I showed you. There's
Oh, yeah.
there's a site called repurpose.io
That's
if you want to
it.
write that down. Repurpose.io. If you go live on your any page and you set this up, it's $20 a month. As soon as you finish going live, it automatically uploads it to YouTube for you. It automatically uploads it to any groups or other pages you want it to be in. It can automatically pull the sound from it and turn it into a podcast and upload it to a podcast service you had. Basically, you could do one piece of content, and this $20 a month program can send it everywhere for you. You do nothing about it.
Which saves a lot of time.
You set it up ahead of time, so you have time to set it up to tell it what to do. And it's not hard. They have videos that show you step by step. But once you tell it what to do and you turn on automatic, as soon as you go live, bam, it's everywhere. It just goes. And you have content everywhere. You didn't have to take steps because you have that extra step. Even uploading to YouTube takes another 20 minutes, surprisingly.
And sometimes my phone crashes because it saves. Something we didn't mention is once you go live, you can hit share, and it also, there's a button that says save, and it will save it to your phone.
Yeah.
And that's how I have access to it.
Because this we'll talk about. This is your most powerful tool you have right in your pocket. You're like an amazing video person because you have one of these.
So the live videos, how long do they stay?
Forever.
Facebook? Okay, so you can share the links to those.
They stay forever.
Put them on a website.
And they don't. And people like raw content. I love to share this. Go to Comedy Central. They have millions of dollars to put out the most awesome videos that they could possibly do. Do you know what they do now? They hand celebrities cell phones. That's what they do. And things go through the roof. Comments, engagements. All they do is, hey, I'm doing a comedy show next week, and then they David Spade did one, and somebody walked through the door, and he's like, get the F out of here. He's just being David Spade. He's just being himself. Even the companies that have the most money to do whatever matters, when it comes to social, okay, I'm not bashing produced video. It's important. But when it comes to social, live video trumps everything. That's all they do. Just, hey, talk about it.
The Dalai Lama is doing Facebook Live.
Heck yeah.
And that blew my mind. I was like, the Dalai Lama is Facebook Living with a crew of people.
How difficult is it to take little clips out of the original Facebook
That's
Live?
not.
Is it something you do in
That's
an app, or do you need to
It's subjective. How difficult? Like for me, not for you, probably insanely. It's after editing software to make it look good, sound good. There's the cost for produced video is way more than live video. Live video is cheaper. You guys might think this is way out of your price range, but when you work with me, we have to spend 2 hours together a month. I'm done and you're done. We're done. We did it. It's over. I'm not going into post-production, sitting down at my computer and adding music and making sure we're done. We're just done. Produced video is 10 times more expensive than live video. If you want me to do the repurposing, those are double the price of just doing a live video because it's time commitment for people. That's why video is so expensive. So live video is substantially cheaper even when you work with a professional because it all comes down to time for me, for you, everything. Most clients, I work with somebody up in Longmont or Loveland. I always get those confused, even though I know
Loveland,
that. Okay,
I think is
yeah.
where she is.
And we spend 2 hours together a month. We spend 1 hour strategizing over what we're going to talk about, being clear about what we're going to deliver. And we spend around 1 hour set up, because we always talk beforehand, just like Melissa does. You always have that kind of pre-conversation, like, hey, what are we going to talk about? Tell me what you're going to. That way you know that other person can support you. And then I interview her, and we're done. And we're done. We don't have to talk again until next month. And then now that content is hers to do whatever she wants with it. We have 15 minutes, so I got to fly through this. Types of live videos. You do not want to be just the woman that talks about parents and struggle. Okay? People are going to tune out. You have to be somebody that does multiple things. Awareness, Mental Health Awareness Month, suicide. Be a human being on live video. Be a little diverse. You don't just talk about what you do. You go to all kinds of other stuff. Bring clients in, expert interviews. Do things. Talk about Bosses Day. Do a live on Bosses Day and talk about your favorite boss you've ever had. Be a human being. And when we do content calendars, because that's what the content's one of the hardest things too. When we develop a content calendar, when I do this with clients, it's 5 different buckets. And then we create video ideas for 5 different buckets. And then we decide how we're going to do them, when we're going to do them, because this month you might be talking about a lot because it's Mental Health Month. Next month we might want to talk about something that's important to you that's coming up. Maybe your favorite nonprofit. Yeah. This is just, I have them. I don't know, is there one more? No. Oh, yeah, event and group promotion. Oops. event or group promotions if you're doing something like this, or there was something else you had going on, because you can't sell through live video.
Yeah, like I just did one on an unconference that I'm helping plan, and that one got almost 1.4 thousand. Like got 1,400 views.
So she helped somebody else. Yeah, it's making you a diverse human being, because guess what? You are a diverse human being. You're not just what you do. You know that. We talked about this. Replay kills live. Don't worry about live. I don't care if you end up and nobody hopped on and you had 3 views. It's still going to trend well. Don't look at views. You have to build engagement. Building. This is like building a house. You don't just start live video and you're just, oh my gosh, 3,000 people are watching this. This is great. It doesn't happen that way. This is work like everything else. This isn't easy. You got to spend the time, the energy. Most importantly, you got to be consistent. Personal profile versus business page versus group. As I told you before, business pages are dying. Facebook's fine with you dying. They don't care if your business page succeeds if you're not giving people what they want and making interaction and community happen. So business pages, if they're dead, a lot of the times I will encourage people, as I did Melissa, to talk about things that matter, but go on your personal profile. There's nothing worse than going live and having just nothing happen. That will be like, why did I do this? Why did I go live? If you're okay with what you do and it's part of you and you're passionate about it, then talk about it. Go live on your personal profile. People will hop on. They'll cheer you on. You'll get comments. You'll actually feel like you're doing live video. And then eventually part of the strategy is we want to be driving people to our business page. Mm-hmm. Our business page is our website of Facebook. That's where it's okay to and when I say sell, know that I know who I'm talking to. But when I say sell, you get what I'm saying. Talk to them. Encourage them to come in and see you. Encourage them what your business philosophy is like. I did an interview the other day with Connected Roots Counseling. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what does the word roots mean? They have it on their website. It's a whole bunch, but nobody's probably going to read it. What does roots mean? So you get to hear from them. Well, this is what roots means to us. Mm-hmm. You get to see your differences through video. We talked so much about pre-recorded versus live video, so I'm not going to go into that. Live video just trumps it. I mean, like 10 times more. They've done professional studies on influencer pages, everything. When they upload a video, very little happens. When they do a live video, gangbusters. This is just showing you Facebook is catching up to YouTube as far as viewership. People are going to Facebook to watch videos. All right, and then we're going to go through the live platform in the last 12 minutes. These are live platforms you can use. You saw the first one today, the native thing on your phone or your computer. All you need is your phone to go live and a story. All you need is your computer to go live and a story. That's all you need in the beginning, without a doubt. That's your most powerful tool. Get over the humps with that. Other platforms, which I recommend, are BeLive.tv. Melissa's now using this. When it comes to interviews, especially remote interviews, meaning we can't be there at the same time. I don't know if you've ever watched anybody do live video and it's them and then they're inviting somebody on, and there's always this awkward phase of like 10 or 12 seconds where they don't know what's happening, and it just makes you look confusing and unprofessional. BeLive TV allows you to send a link. By the way, this is free. Allows you to send a link to somebody. Both of you hop in. You say, hi, how are you? What are we going to talk about today? How is this going to go? This is what your stream will look like. And then when you're ready, you hit start broadcast. Bam. You've gotten to talk about it. You got your camera right. You got your lighting. If I saw yours and be like, get away from a window. I can't see you. I can tell you that as opposed to you just popping in and be like, get away from the window. I can't see you while we're doing live content. BeLive allows you to come in, create the thing, and hit start. With that being said, Facebook does penalize. They don't tell you how much. They do penalize you for not using the native Facebook app. The best way to get most engagement is just to straight use your phone and Facebook. But for some other things to look professional, to make it easy, to not stress you out, I recommend these things big time.
Can I say something about that too?
Yeah.
When you schedule one and you're like, I'm going to send this link to the person that I'm doing the interview with, you have to go live within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you think you're going to need more time to troubleshoot like what you're going to talk about, like I just did this the other day, we decided we were going to go live at 10:30, but I was like, click on the link at 10, and then we have a half hour to talk about whatever it is that we think we want to talk about, and then we'll go live at the time.
Even though I knew this meeting started at 9, I scheduled this live for 9:05, knowing that I needed to be live by 9:15. Make sense? When you do schedule stuff, because scheduling lets you put it out ahead of time. You can say, hey, I'm talking with Melissa Ryan. You can do it within 7 days. I'm talking to Melissa Ryan on Monday. You can have it out there. If people want to join, they can click Get Reminder, and as soon as you go live, they'll get an immediate notification that you're live. This is the one I'm using today to go live. If you guys check out the live stream, it's called Ecamm. It's a Mac-only program. For all my Mac users, it's amazing. It does so much stuff. You can share screens. We're sharing screen here. You can run B-roll video. You know who's watching, how many likes or comments you're getting. It's a great program. This is more advanced stuff, but I want you to let you know it exists. I'm just giving you context for future. BeLive is web-based, so it's anything. People can even join on their phone. Yeah, so BeLive is like, if you don't want to have issues and you just want to get stuff done, BeLive will make it easy for you. You'll look like a professional, especially if you're interviewing somebody. Maybe you have a friend in Maryland or something that is just awesome, and you'd love to chat and talk about what they do. You can use BeLive for that from Maryland. As with everything, you have to play around a little. You can do an only me in BeLive. So you can get in there, play around with all the buttons. For instance, BeLive does a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then live. And then when you hit end, you got to hit another button to end broadcast. Get yourself familiar with it. It'll help you eliminate any mistakes or blunders. All right, and then this is for Apple users. It's called Switcher Studio. You can use up to 6 iPhones or tablets, iPads to stream. I could have 6 iPhones around this room with 6 different camera angles that I can control from an iPad to produce a nice show. If you want production quality and you want something to look good, whip out your iPhones. You can make it awesome. And then this is way advanced, but some people do have really huge live content shows in mind. Because again, this can be anything and be as big as you want. This is called vMix. It's for PC. Huge program, allows you to do all kinds of stuff, bring in multiple high-end cameras, stuff like that. All right, and then equipment. I like to call this a family that lives together, stays together. Our photographer humored us with this one. Only 50% of those phones actually worked. But yes, your iPhone, your mobile phone. This is, no surprise, your biggest tool. It's where we started. It's where you still go.
I had to update, actually, because I had an iPhone.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. You don't want to be anything lower than 3 models behind. You're just going to experience more problems and issues that I can't explain. Just an old phone, it's going to make mistakes, it's going to make you frustrated. If you're an Android person, I say Galaxy S8 or newer, or any of the Google Pixel phones. The only reason I even sort of hate on Android is just because they have some really low entry phones that are not much money, that have really crappy cameras that are going to make you look like crap. When you buy an iPhone, it's generally an amazing camera 100% of the time. When you buy any Galaxy phone, it's going to be an amazing camera 100% of the time. When you buy a Google Pixel, it's going to be an amazing camera 100% of the time. So if you have a low-end LG, something that you got free because you signed up, it's not going to make you look good on social. So I encourage you not to use it. If you start doing things like this, today, this is an entry model HDC 920. Today I'm using the Logitech Brio. You can use these easy-to-use webcams that plug into your computer. It allows you to stream and get much better quality of video than your webcam alone on your computer, because unless you have a really, really, really new computer, your webcam probably blows. It's probably not going to make you look good. All the links are going to be here to click to buy. And again, I'm going to share this with you today. So you have all the links. A tripod, I think it's necessary. You don't want to be holding up your phone. I did a live with Melissa in the back, and I'm a live professional. And after about 1 minute, I'm kind of like, ooh, I can feel this. It's a light phone, but it's heavy. A tripod's a good start. I recommend this one because it's so diverse and heavy duty. It does a lot of stuff. It's about $79. That first webcam's about $50. A mount, I have it right here in front of you. This is one of my favorite mounts for video. It's amazing. Any phone goes in here, holds onto it, mounts onto a tripod at the bottom, and then you can accessorize. Add lights for different angles, add microphones. This is as you move up and want to get better quality, because you do want to continue to let your live grow. You want to become conscious about becoming better and not giving people the same thing. Audio, this is an entry-level microphone that's different than that one. That's more entry-level for you. The link's here.
But is audio absolutely necessary?
Crucial. Yep, crucial. If it's bad audio, people won't stay as long. This is the mic me and Melissa both use for interviews. They clip on. There's 2 that plug directly into your device or your computer, and you get really clear audio directly to their mouth, especially if you're somewhere outdoors. She did one by a creek the other day.
Yeah, that's the one that got almost 1,400 views.
Yeah, by a creek.
Because people were just like,
because you do got to change space. If you have the same space, you go live the same way, people assume they already know what you're going to talk about, so you do got to kind of change space. Lights, I recommend. Just a good way to light up your face, make you look pretty, professional, not dark and dingy. This is a little selfie ring light that I love that hooks on laptops or phones, brightens things up real good, just gives you some, so people can see you. And This is something I'm going to send you. I'm not going to go over this because we got 4 minutes. This goes over everything you need to do to accomplish that first live. This is a step-by-step tutorial that if you click on this, it's going to show you how I showed you the public and post only me. I go through a 5-minute video of everything you need to know. Airplane mode. The only thing that will stop or interrupt a broadcast is a phone call on your phone. So if you turn it into airplane mode and then connect to Wi-Fi, you could still get notifications, but it's not going to interrupt your broadcast. Hot tip, if you forget, because I still forget, and your broadcast does get interrupted, meaning me and Melissa are going live right now, and then bam, a phone call. Just be ready that as soon as it ends, as soon as that phone call goes away, that video starts right back up, and when it's released, that never even happened. You know what I'm saying? It's not, even though it takes 6 seconds of ringing, when that phone call ends, that video's just there again. And when people replay it, it's as if nothing ever happened. So just go.
That's
if
cool.
you forget it, yeah, just go. Know as soon as it ends, you just need to pick up. Because there's not going to be a 6-second delay.
And that actually happened. I was with somebody, and they were having connectivity issues during the live.
Yeah.
But when we watched the replay, actually, it was fine.
Yeah. And then I showed you this, only me doing a lot of this prepare and practice time, steps on how to do that. And then this is my live show checklist. This is how you execute a great live show. Introduce yourself, state your value, ask for engagement, answer a question. A lot of times I encourage you to answer a question to the audience. Have you ever experienced this? Have you ever gone through this? Ask a question to get people going. Engage, value delivery, comment, engage with comments, summarize, and then let them know what to do. And I have this I can share with you too. Tell fans where you're broadcasting ahead of time so you can do posts. Just like you said, you can do things to say, we're going live soon, we're going live tomorrow. You can do that. I did that this morning. I typically try to do it within a day to do that. We talked about how the longer you go live, the more live viewers you'll likely get. But then also, the longer the live video is, the less likely somebody's going to replay it. Does that make sense? If I click on something and it's an hour, I'm kind of like, not today. No, don't got an hour. So you might get tons of live viewers to hop on, which is great, which is fun if you want that, but you're going to sacrifice one or the other either way. There's no way to get both live and replay. Just no way. But we're focused on replay. And then save and share. iPhones have this. Androids look a little different as I'm learning, but you can save the video to your phone so you get the raw, full 1080p video, and then you can share it out. And that's it. So questions. We got through a lot of stuff today. Yeah.
I was going to ask, a while ago I was seeing some information that if Facebook catches wind that you're promoting a business through your personal page, you can always shut it down. Have you seen that happen?
No. I would say that's entirely not true. I will say one thing Facebook did do is they now will not let you say comment, like, or share on your live broadcast. They're listening to you. They don't want you to say the word comment. They don't want you to say the word share. They don't want you to say the word tag friends. The reason they do that is because they're shutting down the people that say, the first 100 people you tag, we're going to give away $1,000. They're just trying to cheat the system to get more engagement. So Facebook just has to shut that down, and it affects all of us. So you can't write in your title, comment. That happened about a year ago. You can't write, comment, like, or share. They're listening to those words, and then they don't tell you, but it means your viewership's going to go lower. They just demote that video. And that algorithm for video changed about 3 months ago.
So would it make sense then if at the end, because I know I've done this, where I've said, like, if you think this would be helpful, please share, is just shift the language of, if you think this would be helpful, send it out to people that...
Yeah, I say spread the news. Come up with different ways. Spread the
okay.
news. Different ways that say it that make sense for you and your brand to help just encourage people. Because I like to say, when I put ask for engagement up there, people need to be told what to do. We're humans. We need to know what's next. What do I do? And yeah, so one other thing I wanted you guys to do was an organic reach test. Well, actually, no. I'm going to end this live broadcast, actually. Oops. Thanks, everybody, for joining live. We're going to sign out.
Thank you.